Hello Flosstube friends, my name is Amy. This is my channel Snow Canyon Stitcher. Welcome to my channel Snow Canyon Stitcher, where I discuss works in progress and cross stitch and share updates. I was just working on my video and I realized I forgot to turn my microphone on. But I'm glad that I realized it before I had done the whole video and was going to start editing and realized I didn't turn it on, so I think we're good. I had just started talking about my works in progress, so today is, I'll just do it over again. Today's June the 14th, Flag Day. Happy Flag Day, everybody. And I believe this is my Flosstube number 37. I hope everybody's doing well. I want to welcome any new subscribers that joined me since my last Flosstube. Thank you so much. And I want to welcome back my regular subscribers. Thank you guys so much for joining me again today. And I want to thank you for all your wonderful comments, your sweet comments on my stitching, and thank you for your encouragement, and I really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you. So I wanted it's actually 2 weeks today. I made it, yay, 2 weeks. I'll just share a little bit of my life update, which is just my patio garden is doing good. Last couple of weeks I've just been doing a lot of stitching. You'll notice my background's a little bit different. Kind of switched it up. I switched out my stitchy chair. I picked up this little sofa for like $35 at the thrift store. I just couldn't resist because it was in really good condition. And yeah, so I think it's a lot easier to film this way, because before I was at my desk over there and I was just like really cramped and everything was just like jumbled together. So I hope this is okay. My patio garden's doing good. I worked on that this past week. I noticed that a neighbor they grow a garden every year, their corn is already like 2 feet high, and I was thinking my plants should be a lot bigger than they are, but they may have already had the seed in the ground since I noticed. We drive right by their house on the way out of the valley, and I can't help but notice their garden and how it's doing. But one thing, the cats, they like to go out on the patio and they think it's okay to chew the leaves on my plants. So I've been working with that, and so now they're not allowed to go up there out on the patio unless somebody's with them. So we'll see how that works out. That's about it. That's about all the updates. I've just been stitching, and I have been working in my sewing room a little bit on quilting, and not really anything that I can share right now. It's just kind of working with some different colors, and I'm still trying to get together a patriotic quilt because we don't have one, and so I have been working on one that's like pastel red, white, and blue, so it's more like pink and light blue and cream. So, but I'll share that later on. So let's just get right into what I've been working on. I have been working on, and what did I do with I had already started sharing this one when I realized my microphone wasn't on, but I have been working on this one for my daughter-in-law. It's called Anatomical Heart, and it's by Threadbare Patterns on Etsy. So I've been working on that one steadily, just about every day. There was a few days, like this past week, that I couldn't bring myself to work on it. I don't know, this past week I just kind of like I just didn't have much motivation to stitch. Although I did, I went ahead and pushed through. I don't know, maybe it's because it's, warmer outside and I want to get outside and do stuff outside, which I have, but anyway, there was a few days there where I couldn't bring myself to stitch on it, so I stitched on other things. But I can get this to where you can see it. I didn't iron anything, sorry, but it's not too bad. Let's see if I can show this. This is how far I've gotten. And like I was sharing in the previous one that I was doing, one thing about stitching on this is that it's, you know, with all the color changes and everything, it's really challenged me, and I feel like I'm growing in my stitching, working on this pattern. So I'm very thankful for it, and I am enjoying it. But yeah, so I feel pretty good about how far I've gotten on it. And so all that's left to do on it now is, so I've reached like the topmost part, where now I'll start working on the, like the beige. I'll show you the photo. Maybe it'd be easier to show you on the photo. So I'm like right in here. So I'm coming up, and the rest of it's going to be really easy. So that's, I'm glad I started where it did and started working where the most color changes are. So moving right along with it. Another thing is, because there's so many color changes, usually I'll go ahead and I'll get the color that I need to stitch, and I may only put, sometimes maybe only put 2 stitches in that color. And so I was really wasting a lot of thread, because at first I thought these are all the different colors. So at first I thought, well, I'll just put my needle with the thread back in the floss strap. But I didn't really want to load that many different needles, and I think I just lost that one. Did I lose that one? Yeah, it fell out. I'll find it. But I was like, I really didn't want to load that many needles and have that many, you know, in the floss drop. So a couple years ago, my daughter-in-law and my son had purchased one of these for me. And at the time, I wasn't doing anything that had a lot of, you know, this many. Usually people use these when they're working on like mirabilias or heaven and earth designs, because there's a lot of, you know, they have a lot of different colors and a lot of color changing. But I remembered I had this, and I was like, well, I wonder if I could use that. So the way they usually use this one is they'll take the needle, and I wish I knew what happened to that needle, because I could, it's probably down in here in the threads. But basically the way it works is you have this little area here. This little piece of paper slides out the edge here, so you can see it slides out. It comes with several of these, and then you can put this, you can write the symbol on these little squares. I did it in pencil so I could erase. But you can put the symbols in here, and then typically there's a little pink area in here where you can stick your needle, and then you can keep your flosses right here. So instead, what I decided to do is I would put the symbols on the paper, and then when I had thread left over, I would just drape that little thread through the foam, these little foamy things here. I would just drape the thread through that foam and wrap it around here in front of the symbol. And so far, it's a game changer. I love it. And last night when I was working on it, I was using that method, and it worked out really good. So yeah, thought I would share that in case someone else was having the same trouble. I know that they bought it on Amazon. If I can find it, and the link, I'll link it below. They're not very expensive either. But I've worked on that just about every day this month, and so it's coming right along. I feel like, oh, did I forget one? Oh, they're up here. Let me see if I can zip these open without making a lot of noise. So I forgot to get these out or unzip them. So the next one I worked on this past couple of weeks was my Anton Ufendel by Hands Across the Sea samplers. And I got a few days in with her because I realized as I was moving along that I didn't have floss for her. And I was like, what? I know I had kitted it up and bought all the flosses, but I think I was using some of the floss from this to do some embroidery because I wanted to see what it was like to embroidery with silk floss, but it was okay, so I just put it away and I ordered more of the colors that I was lacking. And so but I did work on her. I think I worked on her a couple of days before I had to stop working on her. And this is how far I got. So my goal was, the last time I did my Flosstube, I wanted to get the basket done. I wanted to get that border, if I could hold it straight, I wanted to get that border, the striped one done, and do the basket. So I was doing great. I had the border all stitched up, and then I realized on this side that I was off one stitch. So I had to take all of it out and I had to restitch it. I was pretty excited too because I had already put one little square in the basket, and I was so excited because it's going to be a lot of fun, I know it. But last night I finished stitching the border back. Did I put the yellow? I haven't got the yellow in there. I still need to put the yellow. So there's like a yellow color, creamy yellow color that goes in there. So I need to do that. And then I can start the basket. And I also frogged out that the stray flower that was right here. So, but I feel good about the progress I made on her. Let's see, was there anything else I wanted to mention about this one? I think that's everything. And I'm just stitching this. Oh, I was gonna get my book so I knew what fabric this is, and I forgot to get it out. But I'm stitching this with all the call for silks. So is this the Saldoche, Versois Saldoche, all the different colors. And she's all reloaded again, and we're doing good. So my goal on this one for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to be steadily working on this in my rotation. It's definitely going to be in a rotation, is to get the basket done. So that's exciting. Another one that I worked a little bit on last night because I wasn't stitching on it on Sunday. I'd just been missing my Sunday stitching for some reason. Is Consider the Lilies. And the last time I shared it, I had finished the house and the plant. There was a plant above the top, so I did make a little progress. Part of the plant that's next to the house. And I'm still going back and forth about the floss, the colors that I'm using, but the DMC is turning out pretty good. I was actually going to order the call for flosses, and I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and I'll stitch this one and see what I think. So far I think I'm just going to stick with the DMC on that one. I like the colors that it's coming out. I did compare the flosses because I do have some of the call for in my stash, but I think I'm just going to stick with the DMCs. There's 28 different colors, and I'm just stitching that 2 over 2. And this is just a white 40 count Zweigart that I think I ordered it from 123 Stitch. I noticed that I like stitching on light color fabric a lot, and I was just talking to myself that I need to start trying some other colors. You know, a little bit, try some other colors. So I had my last Flosstube, I had forgotten to share an update on my Mirabilia that I'm working on. It's Cathedral Woods Goddess. And I had made quite a bit of progress on her. It was like after I'd done my Flosstube, I was like, oh, I forgot to share her because I was going to work on her. So I was like, it's okay. I'll just share my next Flosstube. But let's see if I can get it to where, yeah. So this is how, she's kind of wrinkly, sorry. This is how far I've gotten with her. I did do some her beading. All her crown and everything is done down to her shoulders. So I'm working on her shoulders now. So I had, to start with, I had done just 2/2 for her skin. And so I decided to take all that out and I restitched it 2/1 for her skin. I still need to frog out her arms and stitch that 2/1. This is 32 count Zygarde that I colored, that overdyed myself. And so yeah, that's how far I'm with her. The beading and everything is a lot of fun, and honestly love working with the Cryonic thread a lot better than the DMC, because I did start out trying to use the DMC. But I'm using all the called for DMCs. I think they're mostly DMCs. There are a couple of the, it's called Water Lilies. There's like this golden, like purple color. It's really pretty. And then the other Water Lilies is kind of like a purpley blue or greenish. It's got a lot of different colors in there. And this is 32 count. So that's my update on her, and I'm having a lot of fun stitching on her. And because I'm stitching on that anatomical heart, I'm not as intimidated anymore to work on my Mirabilia, which is really cool. So that, I believe, is all that I worked on stitching this past couple of weeks. I thought that I would share some of my some of my finishes, my patriotic finishes, because I don't have them up in here. But one, and I didn't think to get the names of the patterns, but I think everyone would be pretty familiar with this one. This is Liberty. I forget who this was by. I'll put it up on the screen. Not happy with the frame it's in. I feel like I need to have a little bit more room around each of the sides. So I'm probably going to get another frame for that one. Another patriotic finish that I have is this one. I think this is a Brenda Gervais pattern. I'm not sure. I'll have to put it on the screen. I finished this one, I think, last year. It's one of my favorites. And then, of course, I just recently finished my Land Without Love. One of the things that I've really been looking around at all the I forgot. There is a pattern that I wanted to share that I got that's patriotic. I think it's patriotic. No, it's not patriotic. It's Christmas. I do have plans. I do have one that I had plans on stitching this month for. Actually, I had planned on stitching on it in May, but I didn't get around to it. And I'm still thinking I may get to it. And that is, did I get it down? I have a lot of my kitted projects up here. The one I kitted up was Lady Liberty by Brenda Gervais. So I may still stitch her. It's really pretty. I have all the call for flosses. One of my favorite colors in here is the blue corn. I absolutely love blue corn. It's like one of my favorite. And it's by Classic Colorworks. Although Freedom's pretty too. And this one's by the Gentle Art. It's called Freedom. It's really pretty. and I have a piece, I think this is 40 count. It's sterling, or it's by Picture This Plus. It's kind of washed out on there, but it's got a blue color to it. So I'm thinking about working on that one. And yeah, so also I wanted to share one of my subscribers, Carla, I think it was last year, she was so sweet. She stitched up this for me, and I believe this is a I started to say Prairie Moon. It's not Prairie Moon. It's the company that has all the Santas. I can't believe I can't think of it. I can't think of the name, but I'll put the name up on the screen. But she made this little box for me, and her finishing is so sweet, so nice. And then there was a little strawberry also. It's got all the flags, and I love this. So thank you so much, Carla. I treasure this. I wanted to share that one with you so you could see how that pattern turns out. So pretty. Wow, I'm really, how many minutes is this already? Can't tell. Okay, so I have been thinking about Christmas stitching, and I have several patterns. I have blackbird patterns that I've been thinking about stitching on, but I do have a few that I'm going to share that I'm thinking I'm planning on maybe working on in September. And one is that I picked, it's from Croquette A Go Silent Night. I had purchased this a couple years ago, and I just haven't done anything with it, but I'm really thinking about stitching that being my main focus piece. That's what I'm trying to figure out. What's going to be my main focus piece for Christmas this year. I also have a Cardinal's Carol, which I will stitch this year. This one's by Luminous Fiber Arts, Misty Purcell. I've had that one a couple years now. And then I also have this free download chart by With Thy Needle and Thread, but it's the pattern, so I won't show that one. But if I can find the link to the free pattern, I will leave it in the description below. But I'm just brainstorming. There's so many pretty patterns that have come out, and I like to think of just one that's going to be my main focus for Christmas. So I do have one that I'm still working on that I still need to finish. Prairie School. Is it Prairie School? I think this is if I got the name right, Prairie School. But the Christmas pattern that I do need to finish is by Prairie School. That was my main focus piece last year. So I have a little bit of haul. I did purchase a pattern, so I'm gonna grab that right quick. Hold on one second. Okay, so I picked up Deck the Halls by Blackbird Design, and it's just a lot of different strawberries, Christmas design strawberries. I haven't made any strawberries yet. Like this one is, the name of this one is It Came Upon a Midnight Clear, but you don't have to make strawberries out of them. You can just stitch them and frame them. But there's 6 different ones in here, and I just love these, and I know I'm going to stitch these this year. This one's called Christmas Visitor, that you can also make into a strawberry. And this is the first time I ever got a pattern that's in a little book. Sorry, that's my dog Max. The next one is Christmas Cactus. It's really, really cute. And then the next one is From Me to Thee. And The First Day of Christmas. Really pretty. And I think that's all of, nope, Dancing Sugar Plums. So all of these patterns are in this book. And I think that was all of them. Yep, and it comes with a pattern in the back, so you can have a template for the strawberries. But it's Deck the Halls by Blackbird Designs. Let's see who the designer is. I think each one's a different designer. Oh, Barbara Adams, I think, is one. I think Barbara Adams designed all these. Yep, so far each one of them's, yes, these are all designed by Barbara Adams. Yep. They're stitched by Barb Adams and Sylvia Webb. The finishing on these was by Joy Hayward, and Alma Allen is the book designer. But I love it. Absolutely love it. So I'm definitely going to be working on that this Christmas. I also picked up another fat quarter of, this is called, I think this is Winter Moon, which is one of my favorite. Nope, Smoky White. And this is a 28 count. And I love this. And I don't have very much 28 count, so I'm trying to slowly build up my selection. I also picked up another one of these. This is the larger one. And then I picked up two more of the smaller ones. I love these frames. I have had some Q-snaps that I picked up from Michael's, but I've never actually purchased an authentic Q-snap. So I picked up a 11 by 17 Q-snap. And I love this one. I actually was using this to stitch on my Consider the Lilies. And what's really interesting about this, and I just noticed this when I was getting it together to do my video, is this little part comes apart, and I think this one too. Which one? It's another one off the side. So you can actually make it smaller if you need to. So you just take those, it's one out of this end, and oh, no, actually, there's, I think you can take them, no, maybe not. Anyway, I'm sure you can use it for making them smaller or something, but I'll have to work with it to see what size it turns into. But I love it, and it works great with my my new Lowry stand. I can get that back in there. There we go. Okay. And so it comes with these long, they're not very expensive either. And I love this one. I love the size of it and the quality. So I'm glad I purchased this. And I will be getting more of the Q-snap, authentic Q-snap frames. So that's that. All right, I think that is everything. I think that was kind of short, but I think that I covered everything. Yeah. So I hope you guys have had a good 2 weeks stitchy week, and that you have a good 2 weeks coming up. And I want to thank you so much for being a subscriber and commenting. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, thanks guys, and I will see you in my next Flosstube. I have been working on doing a live stream. So far I have everything set up. I don't see why I couldn't do a live stream. I'm thinking I'm just going to do a test one to see how that works out. But I will keep you updated when I decide to do a live stream. Alrighty, kind of like a Stitch With Me live stream. Alrighty, thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next Flosstube. I'm sure I forgot something, but I'll remember it in my next one. So, alright, have a good 2 weeks, and I'll see you in my next Flosstube. Alright, see ya.